I thought I'd do a little video of how to fix an overheating ocean boat. I bought this boat and I was told it was in good mechanical condition, no problems. They just put a new impeller in the water pump, and so I took it out the first time and it was overheating, and I didn't know what the problem was, and I asked around, tried to figure it out, and replaced the impeller again because the one they had just put in before I bought it blew to smithereens. And so I thought I'd do a little helpful video for those who are stuck and don't know how to quit their boat from overheating. It was actually kind of a sneaky little deal that the owner didn't even know about, and I guess maybe that's why he didn't put any more money into trying to fix it, and I got a pretty good deal. So I'll give you a closer look at what I did here and hopefully try to help you guys out. So for those of you not entirely sure how the cooling system works in some of these boats, I have a heat exchanger, and the raw water gets picked up through this outdrive. I'm running a Mercruiser outdrive. It's a Bravo 1 on a diesel unit, and so water gets picked up from the outdrive and it goes up. I don't think you can see where, but there's a line that goes up through here and into the engine compartment, and that picks up the raw water to cool the engine coolant. So we'll go up there and I'll show you what's next. So here's my 4.2 liter Cummins turbo diesel, and so from the outdrive, hopefully we'll be able to see this. Right there's a sight glass. That circle right there is a sight glass to see if water's flowing through. It gets fed from the outdrive, goes through the sight glass, comes over to the front, and you're not going to be able to see it, but down there is the water pump and impeller unit, and this right here, this unit is a heat exchanger. There's a whole bunch of tubes in here where the raw water goes through and cools down. You're not going to be able to see it, but cools down the antifreeze. And yeah, you're not going to be able to see it. And so I put a new impeller in, still wasn't getting any water, and it looked like water was moving down in there. But it wasn't. It was just vibrating with the engine. So so here's the other side of the impeller. I don't think you can see it, it's too dark, but this hose right here is part of the raw water system. And what I did, I took it off down here and started it, and no water was flowing. I had to take this whole cover off, took this hose off, and saw no water was flowing. So that gave me the sense that, okay, water's not moving through my raw water pickup, through the impeller, because I saw the impeller move, I knew that was moving, but water wasn't going up and through it. There's that sight glass again, and there's the hose feeding the motor, or the heat exchanger. So what I did, I took that hose clamp off, and with my wash down hose, I was able to feed water through it. Oh, you can see right there. Feed water through it, and I saw that it was going through the motor. There was nothing wrong with the motor. All the waterways were open and clear, and I checked that again by taking that off, looking at all the tubes, and once I hooked the hose up to that, water was going through the motor, and it wasn't overheating. So there again, I knew that there was blockages back in here where water wasn't being picked up. Okay, so what I did from there was, being a plumber, I kept that hose undone, and what I did, it looks kind of hokey, but I fit that into it, and there's a regular garden hose adapter, and this was back at the shop. I was able to hook up a garden hose and again start it, make sure it was running through the motor just fine. So from there, I took off that hose clamp and tried forcing water backwards through it. Didn't work. So I narrowed it down to where exactly water was not moving. And so like I said, I'm a plumber, So what I did was I held that hose up here, and I got it stable or whatnot. And what I did, I put lime away in that hose and filled that whole lower unit with a corrosion breaker for salt buildup and such. And I let it sit for 2 days, came back and pressurized it with a hose, and sure enough, water started spewing out, and it was spitting out this white salt gunk. And I was like, okay, that's the problem. So what I did, you know, from past experience, I knew vinegar cleared out salt and grime and all that lime buildup. So what I did, I got 2 gallons of vinegar, and I put in there, and I let it sit a couple more days, and it drained out by itself. And I came back, filled it up again, and I pressurized it. And when I pressurized it, through here, water and the salt buildup were coming out, and also, let's see, where are we here? Right there, you can see there's a few more little spouts where water comes out, and it's still got some water in it anyways. But again, at the bottom, I had a whole pile of, this isn't it, but it almost looked like this stuff, a bunch of white pebbles that were just salty. I even tasted it, you know, oddly enough. I checked it out. It tastes like vinegar and salt. And I was able to figure that out, clear it all out, and I have a unit I can attach here, which most of you guys do, which when you start your motor on a trailer like this, you want your drive unit down, and then you can attach your water hose and whatnot and get water flowing through your motor if you want to start your motor outside of water. And so I hooked everything back up, started it, and sure enough, water was spewing out. Now, water goes in through your outdrive here in this lower unit, and then it comes out up here through your exhaust, which is going to be different for every boat. But so I finally was able to pressurize this, start the motor, and water came spewing out here. Now I did that a few more times. I think I went through a total of 3 gallons of vinegar and 1 jug of that lime away. But that sure enough fixed the problem that nobody could figure out. Because if you take it apart, if you take this lower unit off, the salt and grime and stuff will fall away, and it will look like you have a clear passage. So mechanics can't figure it out, and which is why I had such a darn time trying to figure out why my engine kept overheating. I changed out the thermostats, the impeller on the water pump, and everything, and nobody could tell me what the problem was. So my last step before taking this drive unit off was that lime away, and that's what cleared out the passage. Now I imagine, because this boat sat for about a year before I bought it, and it was made in '03. The guy had used it for like 6 or 7 years before I found it. He had never cleared it out. He never ran it in fresh water to clear that salt out. So that was the problem. Salt just builds up in the passageways, and water can't move through it. So